Hi, BERNINA Jeff here at High Fashion Sewing in Grand Junction, Colorado. I'm going to show you how to adjust your bobbin tension or your lower tension on most machines and then set your upper tension to where you have a good stitch again. This might help you from having to go in and have your machine serviced. It could save you $99. It's not the alternative to having your machine serviced, which should be done every 1 to 3 years. Oils inside there need to be replaced. So here we go. We're going to start with the lower central bobbin system, or they also, it's a metal bobbin case. We're going to remove it, and the bobbin goes in there, and when the bobbin's in there and you thread it, the bobbin should rotate clockwise. It also needs enough tension on there to support enough weight. I've found that a good way to test the weight is to remove your circular race, and inside there is this hook. It's kind of the shape of a half a circle, and if you look inside there, there is another driver. It's the shape of a half a circle. So when you put these back together, you're going to make a full circle. I'll show you that again later. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to clip this hook onto the bobbin with the thread sticking out, and there should be enough tension to support that. I'm pulling up and there's not enough tension to lift that off my hand. So I'm going to go righty-tighty, about a half a turn on this screw on the bobbin case, and I'm going to test it again. All right, so that's supporting, and it should support enough to where it drops if you bounce it a little bit. So that's a little too tight. I'm going to turn it a quarter turn lefty-loosey. Doesn't take much to make this tension different. And now when I bounce it, that bobbin and that weight drops. So that's the proper weight to get you sewing again for your bobbin case. So we're going to take the bobbin case off. Now we're going to reassemble this. I use a bean bag, but most of you don't have a bean bag handy. I've propped the machine up. You can use a spool of thread. So now the machine propped up, hold the center of that hook, line it up inside there, and that's ready to assemble. But as long as it's open and such right now, let's go ahead and take a brush. We're going to clean out any excess lint and such. And I'm going to use my handy dandy oiler. I sell these for $12 each here at the store, and we'll ship them anywhere in the United States. And we're going to drip a little bit of oil inside this, or it's almost easier to take the hook and put 2 drips on the outside of that shiny area of the hook. Every 3 to 4 bobbins full of thread, you should oil your machine. And we're going to set that back in there. And because the machine's resting, it doesn't all jump out at you. This circular race needs to go in with this side up. It kind of looks like a mustache. I call it the mustache. So it goes in first and in the top. Line up, there's some pins. And then these black levers come over the tip of these little beads here and hold it into place. I rotate the machine, make sure nothing's jammed, and now the bobbin case is ready to put back in. And I make sure I get a lined up and a distinctive click, and give a little pull. You can tell there's a little tension there. That's what you want to feel. So that's the bobbin tension, or the lower tension, and that's your baseline. Once that's set, now we can adjust the numbers on our upper tension. So we are going to first make sure that there's nothing in our tension unit here. Some tension units are across the top. I take a long pipe cleaner, go in there and just kind of floss it in there, and you'll see sometimes thread and everything else will come out of there. Now you can thread your machine, and when I thread the top of the machine, I always do 2 tests, especially once I've been having issues. First off, before I go any further, I make sure the presser foot is up. If the presser foot's down, you try to thread the machine, it will not go into the tension unit properly. Okay, so now that it's threaded through there, I give the thread a little pull. There should be no resistance. Now I lower the presser foot. Now there should be quite a bit of resistance, almost 5 times more tension than the bottom. And once you've got it threaded, you want to test sew it. I test sew it a piece. This is the top of the fabric. It looks good. Now let's look real close. The top tension was way too loose, so you see this real jagged part of a zigzag. I like using a wide zigzag to test my stitch because that will result on tension issues right away. So I tightened my top tension, that was better, and then I've tightened the top tension to where it was totally even on both sides of my fabric. Usually that's right around 4 or 5 on your dial. If you have to go up to 7, it's just a number. That's where your machine likes to sew. So that is the bobbin tension on the lower or vertical bobbin system. If you have a machine that you have a bobbin case that looks like this that you drop in from the top, they call this a horizontal bobbin system. You need to remove the 2 screws or the plate from your machine to test this bobbin tension. What happens a lot is I take the bobbin out and there's excess threads and stuff caught in here. So I take the corner of a business card and I poke it between the spring and the metal and I push it out toward the right. If there's extra dust bunnies and stuff in there, that'll come out. The accumulation will cause your tension never to, if you keep tightening and tightening on either one of these systems, do that because there's stuff in there. So then I put my bobbin in, like it shows you on the machine, bottom of the thread coming off to the right. I thumb it in there and get it into the spring, and now I have a little tension coming down this way. Now I thought, what weight do you have around the house that will be equal to make this test? I tested a fork, that was too heavy. Tested a spoon, it was too heavy. I found that this 1.25" clip is just about the right weight to test this bobbin tension. So what you want to do is you want to tie this onto your thread after it's in your bobbin. I have a little loop here. And now if you kind of bounce this, this will actually come out a little bit as you bounce it. So that's the proper tension. If it slides all the way, you need to tighten the little screw that is on the bottom here. If it doesn't bounce and let any thread out, you need to loosen it. Now I recommend you do your tensions with a normal standard sewing thread. However, if all you use is heavy-duty upholstery thread, adjust it for that. And then reinstall that and you'll be ready to test and sew. Hope this helps you out. It'll keep you sewing, and I like to make sure that you can fix your machine too. Thanks. Please subscribe to my channel